In the year 1410, the city of Prague was preparing to build something that had never been seen before, an astronomical clock that could track the movements of the sun and moon, the positions of the stars, the phases of time itself. It would be a masterpiece, a monument to human ingenuity and beauty. The city council searched far and wide for the greatest clockmaker in the land. They found him in a small workshop on the edge of the city. His name was Mikula of Kodok, and his hands could bring metal and wood to life in ways no one had ever witnessed before. Gears that turned with perfect precision, figures that moved as if breathing, bells that sang like angels. Mikula accepted the commission, and for years he worked alongside other craftsmen, pouring his soul into every gear, every spring, every carved figure. He barely slept, barely ate. His entire being was devoted to this creation. He wasn't just building a clock, he was building something eternal, something that would speak long after he was gone. When the clock was finally complete and mounted on the old town hall, the entire city gathered to see it. As the first hour struck, the crowd fell silent in awe. The astronomical dial showed the position of the sun and moon, the zodiac signs rotated, the 12 apostles appeared in the windows. Above, skeletal death pulled a rope and rang a bell. A golden rooster crowed. It was more than a clock. It was a symphony of time itself. The city leaders were amazed, but as they watched the crowds gather day after day, as they heard visitors from distant lands speak of Prague's miracle, a dark fear began to grow in their hearts. What if Mik built another clock somewhere else? What if another city had something even more beautiful? What if Prague lost its glory? They called a secret meeting and made a terrible decision. We must ensure this clock remains unique. One of them said, we must make certain the clockmaker never creates another. And so in the darkness of night they sent men to Mikula's workshop. They seized him, held him down, and took heated irons to his eyes. They blinded him. When Mikula woke, he could see nothing, only darkness. The world he had known was gone. The gears and springs he had loved to watch dance were now invisible to him. The city leaders came to him with false sympathy. We are so sorry, they said. Bandits attacked you, but don't worry, we will take care of you. We will give you a pension. You will never have to work again. But Mik knew the truth. He knew what they had done. He sat in that darkness for days, feeling the weight of their betrayal, feeling the loss of his sight, his craft, his future, and then something shifted inside him. They can take my eyes, he thought, but they cannot take what I have already created. One day, Mikula asked to be taken to the clock. He stood before it, unable to see it, but he could hear it ticking. He could hear the gears turning, the mechanisms he had designed with such love and precision, and he smiled because he realized something profound. The clock didn't need him anymore. It had its own life now, its own voice, its own story. Weeks later, something strange began to happen. The clock started malfunctioning. The figures moved erratically. The time was wrong. The bells rang at odd hours. The city leaders panicked. They brought in other clockmakers, but no one could fix it. They finally went to Mikula, begging him, please, you must repair it. The city's pride is at stake. Mikula agreed, but on one condition: take me to the clock. Let me touch it one last time. They brought him to the tower. His hands reached up and found the mechanisms he had created years before. His fingers traced the gears, the springs, the wheels, and then with a swift movement, he reached deep into the heart of the clock and damaged something critical, something only he knew about. The clock stopped, and Mikula said quietly, now you will see that what you tried to destroy lives on without me. He walked away, leaving the leaders in horror, but here is what they didn't understand. Even though Mikula had damaged the clock, even though he had taken his revenge, the clock was too important to die. Other craftsmen studied it, learned from it, repaired it over the centuries. It was damaged by fires, by wars, by time itself, but it was always rebuilt, always restored, because what Mikula had created was bigger than him, bigger than the leaders who blinded him, bigger than any one person today. More than 600 years later, the Prague Astronomical Clock still stands, still ticks, still draws crowds from around the world. Every hour people gather to watch the apostles appear, to hear the bells ring, to witness the beauty of what one man created. Mikula of Kodok died centuries ago, his name nearly forgotten by history. The city leaders who blinded him turned to dust, their names lost entirely, but the clock, the creation, the art, the beauty that lives on forever.